Hey guys, this is the Crafty Curator, also known as Letitia. Thought I would show you a quick video. I know that there's been a lot of people on Flosstube that have been talking about these stamped cross-stitch kits that they get from China. And forgive me in advance, I'm filming this from my phone, so I might be a little unsteady. I'm used to being just sitting still in front of the camera. But I wanted to show you what I purchased. I decided I was also going to get one of these kits. I was enabled by a couple of people, but the person that's most guilty is Jessie Does Stuff. Jessie Does Stuff. She just purchased one kit that was a wall hanging of some beautiful orchids, I believe, and it was really beautiful. I know Nordley had one as well. Also, I want to say her name is her channel is Three Nerds. I think that's what it's called. She also had a huge one of the dancing lady. So I was poking around on AliExpress and eBay, and I found a couple of options. The one that I'm showing you, this is a package that I received from eBay. I also ordered one from AliExpress, but I haven't received it yet. I ordered them all maybe around both all around the same time. This particular package was shipped on April 10th. I received it on April 19th or 20th. It may have even come before that. I was out of town last weekend, and I picked it up out of my mailbox on Monday. I believe that was the 20th. So it very well could have arrived on Friday. I'm not sure, but all in all, it took about 10 days to arrive from China. And this, as I said, was from eBay. This is the first kit of a beautiful young woman holding a butterfly surrounded by grassy leaves. And this is a picture of the package. That's what it looks like. And I also received this one of, trying to hold my phone steady, I apologize. A woman with a seagull. She's holding some buckets of water, or that's what I'm assuming are water. There's a couple of seagulls there. And she looks like she's dancing. Beautiful, very colorful printed dress, and you see some clouds, or I don't know what that is, but that's the second one. And this is the third one. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. She's sitting in a field of sunflowers. Absolutely beautiful. Now the beautiful thing about these kits, I received 1, 2, 3 kits in total with floss, with canvas, for $25 total. I think that's one of the most attractive things about these kits. They're very inexpensive. The kit that I ordered from AliExpress was $10 with free shipping, and I just haven't received that yet. So I'm waiting patiently, but these three, all three, were $25 for the total package, and it contains everything that you need. So what I'm going to do now is show you exactly what I received one by one. So the first one we're going to look at, I thought they were all the same size, but they're not. 2 are the same size, and then 1 is a little bit smaller. So the first one we're going to look at is this one. It's on 11 count black Ada. I'm just going to scoot over here real quick. It's on 11 count black Ada, and this is the pattern. It comes in, it's a high gloss pattern. It comes, I'm trying to do this with one hand. Oh, there's a little seagull. You can't really tell anything even though I'm showing the pattern. You don't know what it is because you don't know the symbols. But this is what it is. It's a high gloss folded up chart with color symbols that identify which fabric you're supposed to use. And of course everything is in Chinese, but if you look here, you see that they have at the bottom the DMC number. So you see the first one, this little blue square with the yellow boxes in blue right here. That's the symbol that's on the chart. On the color card, it is number 1, so it tells you that this symbol refers to this blue, number 1. I'm sorry, it's upside down. But if you want to use DMC, it also gives you the DMC equivalent, which is 311. And that's what the chart looks like. It's very clear. One thing that I can tell you is that the symbols that are here on the chart are the same thing that's on the pattern. But when you go to the actual canvas, which I'm going to show you in a minute, the symbols are different. So I'm assuming that's just the way that it prints out, but it's very easy to identify which symbol is which, so you can look at the pattern. I'm just going to move everything over here where the light's a little bit better. So you can look at the symbols on the chart, even though they don't directly correspond with what you're looking at on your pattern. You can look at the symbols on the chart, and even though they're a little bit different, you pretty much know what you're doing, just going by the colors. So you can see, I'm getting really close here, it's very clearly identified. So this is one symbol here, this is one symbol here. So that's what I mean. It's a little different. What's right here, the red box with the white diagonal, may not be the same thing that's on the pattern. You also have your color codes on the chart, and it's very clear. Now these correspond with what's on the printed pattern. So if you want to just use this as a reference, a quick reference guide, you can also use it because it's printed on the canvas as well. So talking about, let's see if I can, this is the canvas, and you see when you look at it in comparison to the chart, the colors are pretty much the same. But once you stitch on it, the colors become a lot richer. And the beautiful thing about this too, you can also switch up the colors if you want to. So if you don't want the blue and red dress or the, you know, green and blue and aqua bucket, you can change it easily. Just stay true to the pattern or to the symbols, and it's very easy to follow. So the same red block that's down here in this paisley on her skirt is going to be the same red up here in her blouse. So this is what it looks like. It's a very thick, like I said, it's 11 count Aida. It's pretty thick. It's pretty thick. So it's easy to hold in hand. I've been stitching it in hand, but you can also fit it in a Q-snap, but I wouldn't expect to get that taut, drum tight fit that we are used to when we use Aida, because it is a lot thicker. It's more like a canvas than it is the fabric that we're used to cross stitching on. One thing I did notice, because I'm going to show you on the last one, I did start just a little bit. It's almost like needlepoint in regard to the canvas that you use, and also in the way that the stitching comes out looking more like a tapestry. It's very interesting, and I'm really enjoying it because it's very easy. I mean, you know, I started off on stamped cross stitch. I haven't done stamped cross stitch probably in 20-some years, but it's very enjoyable. It's so easy to follow, and I actually love the patterns. Some of them are kind of cheesy, you know. Some of the patterns are a little bit cheesy if you go on AliExpress or even on eBay. If you go on eBay, you can just put in the search engine DIY cross stitch kit, and you'll come up with all kinds of patterns, all kinds of kits. But I really like these ladies. So this is the floss that you received. So for this particular pattern, this is the floss that I received. And all the reviews that I've read in the past and videos that I've watched from people that have actually finished one of these kits, they say they give you enough floss, more than enough floss. Well, not more than enough, but a perfect amount of floss, I'll say that. And a lot of people wondered if this was actually DMC or whatever it was. I don't know if it's DMC. I really can't speak to that, but it is a very nice floss. It's very nice. The coverage is really great. You have to use 3 strands of this floss for each cross stitch because it's an 11 count. And when you do the back stitching, I don't know if there's any back stitching on this one, but it's very, very minimal back stitching, not a lot at all. But you use 3 strands of floss. So what I did, you'll see on the one pattern that I started, I completely removed it from the color card and just kind of cut off this little number and put it in plastic baggies because it was easier for me to handle. But I cut all of the strands in half because you see they're quite long. So I cut them in half, and I just pull out 3 strands and I'm good to go. You can't use the loop method, obviously, because it's 3 strands. But it's pretty easy to anchor the edge of the thread and stitch right over that to, to secure that tail. So that's the first one. And this one is, let me see, I think it's about 195 by 240. So that's the size of it. But you can see it's pretty large. It's a nice size. Nice size pattern. If I were to venture a guess, I don't have a ruler with me. If I were to venture a guess, I would say it's about maybe 20 by 24. I'm not sure. And this is the smaller one. So I'll move on to the next one. I'm trying not to mix anything up here like I've already done. I don't know what I did with my pattern, but I will find it. I don't know what I did with my pattern just now. Oh, there it is. Sorry for all the movement. Okay, so here's the second one. You see a very similar pattern. Open it up with a booklet pattern. You have the color key. It's all the same. And I also forgot to mention it does come with 2 needles right there. Needles are a little bit larger because you have to accommodate 3 strands of floss. This one actually came with some extra floss because of all the blue and green that's in the pattern. And here is the color card. Very colorful, very beautiful. So see, they give you quite a bit of floss on this color card. And like I said, I just cut it up and put it in baggies because it was easier for me to manage that way. This is the second one. You can see that's a little bit bigger. It's actually a lot bigger in comparison to that one. You can see the size difference there. So this is the one with all the sunflowers. She has her little straw bag. It's quite beautiful. So you see here, this is what I mean by very minimal back stitching. To highlight her ankle and her toes and her fingers. And also on her face, there's some back stitching there to give her some eye definition, eyebrows. But that's all the back stitching that there is. Everything else is just straight cross stitch. Now, some of the kits that I've read about, some of these have a lot where this is all pre-printed. All of this that you see here, all the color that you see here is stitched. So only the black is not stitched. Everything you see in color is to be stitched. So this was not one of those patterns where the majority of the kit is pre-printed and you only stitch a small amount. I think Deneen showed an example of that. She had one of these as well. And it showed an example where she had this beautiful picture, but only a small portion of the flower was actually stitched. And this isn't like that. So that's the second one. It's quite large. I'm excited about it. And there you see the color key on the bottom. It's a little bit of a challenge to stitch it in hand. It's a bit of a challenge, to be honest with you, to stitch it on a Q-snap, but not as much of a challenge where I don't want to stitch it. I'm really enjoying it. But I'm hoping that when I get my larger Millennium frame, my Millennium frame, because I don't have one right now. When I get my Millennium frame, I'll be able to stitch it on the frame, and it'll work out pretty well. And I'm happy to announce that my Millennium frame has finally been shipped. It's in transit. Can't wait. So that's the second one. So I'm trying to give you an idea of the canvas here. It's pretty thick, pretty sturdy. And this is the third one. And I just love this one. I love the butterfly. She's a large one too. That didn't sound right, but it's a large print as well. This is probably, it's large, but it's probably the easiest of the three to stitch because there's not as much detail. It's just as beautiful, but you see how this has so much more detail and color than this one. This one has large blocks of the same color, the darker blue, the blue, what is this? Blue with some little white embellishment in there. This is another color here. Then this shaded bluish black right here is another color. Larger blocks of the same color, so it should be a little bit easier to stitch than the other one. I can't show you the floss card with this one because I've already taken it apart, and actually I can show you what I did. This is in an old, one of those plastic sheet bags that your sheets come in. It holds it perfectly. There's my pattern. I made a working copy. I made a working copy so I could highlight it, but this is what I did. I just basically took the floss off of the color card, but I kept a little number in there so I could easily identify it, but it was just easier for me to put it in the bag. So this has already been taken apart and put in the little baggies. There's all the floss. It's all in there. And as you can see, this is where I started stitching right here. You know I like to do the cultural cross stitch themes, and I like the African American theme, so I did make her, because, especially because of the outfit. She looks like she's more an island, from the islands, or maybe African somewhere with her, out with the outfits. You know, maybe even Hispanic. So I did change her skin tone because you can see right here, or maybe it's not showing up. This is a baby pink. It's very pink. So I would even suggest, because it's not, to me, it looks different than it's showing up on camera. On camera, it's realistic flesh tone, but on the canvas, it's very pink. So I did change the skin tone, and you can see where I started to stitch. I'll get a little close up so you can see the coverage here. I'm sorry. But this is what it looks like stitched. Now, when you wash it, all of this ink, all of this color comes out. Everything comes out. All of this comes out when you wash it. And all you're left with is the black canvas. From what I understand, it takes a while to wash it out. By a while, I mean, I think you have to let it set for about 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, and then it comes out. But this is the stitching that I've done. This is with 3 strands. So it comes out very much like needlepoint, with the tapestry feel. It's a little raised. There's a little bit right here with the blue. In here, this is just an outline, and the blue here to separate her feet, so you can see a little bit of definition there. But that's all I've stitched, just basically the heels of her feet. And I like I said, I've really enjoyed it. This is the needle. I'm not sure what size needle this is, but it's a little bit larger than what I normally use. Maybe a 22. I'm not sure. So this right here is DMC, because I've altered it. So this was mine. This golden color for the highlight here, and this tan color, that's DMC, but this blue is the actual color that comes with the pattern. Now, some people have said that the floss that these kits come with, doesn't lay properly, I haven't had any problem, but I've also been railroading because I was anticipating that there might have been a problem with the stitches laying evenly, based off of the videos and the feedback that I've watched. So I've been railroading. Very easy to railroad with 3 stitches. You just kind of stick it in between one of the strands and go for it. So it's a lot easier, much easier on the eyes. I was kind of concerned about the coverage for 11 count, but this has really been a pleasure. So somehow this magically ended up into my rotation. I worked last week on my ink circles, and I don't have that out or prepared to show you, but I'll show you in my next video, my whip update. But I just wanted to make a quick video and show you these lovely ladies. And again, 1, 2, 3 patterns with floss, canvas, all that you need for $25 on eBay. And like I said, the other kit that I purchased was $10. And it's a large one. It's really large. Not sure when I'll ever get it done, but for $10, couldn't pass it up. So, one thing I can tell you, if you order it off of eBay, I think some of the prices on eBay were a little bit higher, and you also have to pay shipping, while on AliExpress, it's free shipping. So I'm waiting a little bit longer for it, but hey, you know, as much as we spend on our cross stitch, you know, come on, seriously. We can wait a little bit for a $10 huge kit. So as far as I can tell, eBay, you'll get it a little bit quicker, just from this one experience that I have. But when the other package comes in, I'll be happy to share with you. I also bought a package of 100 of these needles. It was 100 of these for $1.49. $1.49. And they were, it said right there that they were for the 11 count fabric, because you need a little bit of a larger needle. But it's been a pleasure. I think if there were any cons that I would want to share, it's not easy to stitch this in hand using the sewing method. I poked myself a couple of times with the needle just trying to get it through the fabric. So because I'm caught on the fabric here, wait a minute. Wait a minute. The needle, there, the needle caught on the fabric of the other kit. So because the canvas is a little bit thicker, I can't just use the sewing method and have the needle easily pass through. I have to push it a little bit, but when I stitch in my Q-snap, I'm easily able to do the two-handed stitching, and it goes very well. So those are my 3 ladies. I highly recommend giving it a shot. They have some nice kits out there. A lot of floral kits, a lot of animals. I think they have something to suit everybody's taste. This obviously is my taste because of the type of designs that I love to stitch. So I'm excited about these. These are a lot of fun. Not recommended being a traveling piece because it's quite large and quite awkward, but it is a nice little change from our regular counted cross stitch, and much, much, much easier on the eyes. Just showing you the back here, it's all white. Making a mess. But I just wanted to share this with you while I was thinking about it. So I'm probably going to try to upload this video and stitch on these feet some more. So happy stitching, everybody. I hope you guys give these kits a try like I did, and hopefully you'll enjoy them as much as I am. And that was it. I just wanted to do this quick update, and I'll see you next time with my whips. Take care. Happy stitching.